I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
And a happy Sunday fun day to everybody out there. Scott Duff here along with Ellen Miller.
Happy Thanksgiving Sunday.
Happy Thanksgiving Sunday. I hope everybody out there had a wonderful holiday weekend.
Yes, I think people did.
I think did you have a wonderful holiday weekend?
I did. I had a pretty wonderful holiday weekend.
Love it.
I'll tell a couple little details.
Oh, all right, yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we've got a great show for you today. Well, today is World AIDS Day,
Yes,
which
it
is
is.
a day of solidarity for people around the world who are affected by HIV and for voices to unite by sharing experiences, remembering those lost, and standing together for the fight against HIV. And Meg McElroy, Director of Special Projects Getting to Zero for AIDS Foundation Chicago, is going to be joining us a little bit later on in the show to talk about their plans, what's going on, and the move to get to zero. And what's going to happen with when
it's
science
more challenging
goes
than ever,
bye-bye.
but I know I have confidence they can continue
I have
to
absolute
do that.
confidence too, because they are incredible people.
Yes, they are.
And we like the arts of arts stuff. And a Red Twist Theater is getting ready for its inaugural Twisted Playfest, featuring the totality of all things as the centerpiece. And we're going to be speaking with Artistic Director of Development Dusty Brown and the Director of the Totality of All Things, Enrico Spada. And we're all about making the Yuletide gay. Yes, I'm going to use that joke until the day I die. No one, I say, does it better than Hell in a Handbag Productions.
That's for sure.
They are getting ready for their 25th anniversary production of David Serta's Rudolph the Red-Hosed Reindeer. And David Serta is back on the show with us in the second hour. And, of course, we would love to hear from you, so give us a call at 773-763-9278. The number again is 773-763-9278. Of course, you can find us on Facebook, where we are coming at you live. Just head on over to Out Chicago Radio, and while you're there, give us a like and a click and a share and all that good stuff. But if that doesn't float your boat, you can always tune in on WCPT AM 820, and while you're at it, follow WCPT and our sister network Heartland Signal on the Facebook place, the Instagram, not so much Twitter, TikToks, and I guess Threads. We're probably there. Are we on Blue Sky yet? Do we know? There was the Blue Sky. Heartland Signal's on the Blue Sky.
I am on Blue Sky.
Are you? I'm not. I don't. What is it all about?
I don't know. I'll let you know when I figure it out.
All right. Is it kind of like a new?
It's a
Twittery, thready
it is the
kinda thing?
It is the anti-X/Twitter that's for more liberal-minded folk.
All right. Well,
what I can
sounds
tell.
peachy keen to me.
Right? What do you got, Devin?
It's actually very nice because someone they took the Fox News handle and they've been posting nothing but pictures of grown men in race car bets.
Nice.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll have to hop on there.
People are getting
Again,
on there.
I'm trying to limit my social media intake.
Yeah. Well, and when you host Thanksgiving, like you and I both did, it's easy to
Girl.
look at social media because we were busy.
Girl, I was so tired.
Oh, I was
before
drop
anybody
dead.
arrived.
I know. I was the
like,
same way. I know, we work hard.
How was your Thanksgiving, Ellen Miller?
It was really nice. It was beautiful. There were 8 of us. We invited our tenant downstairs, who's become a dear friend and extended family member, Paul, up to eat with us. And
you released him from the basement.
Released him from the
Is that
basement.
what you did?
There were a lot of raised voices and arguing over politics, though.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody was arguing and yelling about what the Democrats could have done better.
Oh, God.
No, it was no,
was
I'm
it?
teasing. It was, we're all on the same page.
I know, but you had spirited, lively political discussions.
Lively political. That's, of course, after all the alcohol and cannabis have,
had gone there.
gone there after dinner, But as a kid, my Thanksgivings in Ohio, where I lived until I was age 7, we'd go to my grandparents' house. There were 15 cousins and 14 aunts and uncles, and there was, at the end of the night, at the dinner table, I was running around because we were at the kids' table.
Right, yeah.
The men folk, while the women were doing the dishes, were arguing politics. Now, they were all on one side, the
Right.
Republican side, and my father
Was on the
was
other,
on the
yeah.
other side. And so I come to it naturally, but we were all arguing over the same.
Well, and you're Greek. I mean,
And we're
you got to be
Greek,
like,
and
this
and,
is where.
and Kathy's like, she tells Paul, like, if this was my family, everybody'd be crying and running out the door already, because
Yeah.
they just don't do that. But, we all have our opinions as to what went wrong in the election, quote unquote. But one of the things that I've come to is that we are too precious and we are too we are too critical. We hold on to, like, someone will say, well, I didn't like that she changed her position on fracking. Someone will say, the way she answered that question about what she'd do different. I'm thinking, well, I'm picking out 2 or 3 things that the Democratic candidate could have done better when you've got somebody who does a million things wrong. This is what's wrong with the whole, so we're always like, but, because we're looking for perfection, because we
Here, I'll
care.
tell you, I know we do care. I can tell you what the Democrats should have done. They should have dumbed it down.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Dumb it down.
Mm-hmm.
That is the key. That is the thing that's like that's really hitting me. Like, people are dumb. There are a lot of stupid people out there.
We have a lot. They want to get rid of the education department. They need to bolster the education department because people are dumb. People are not informed. They're going to find out the hard way because sadly, people learn from actions, and they will see actions that will probably impact them in a way they never could have imagined. But I digress. I don't want to get into.
I know. Wow, you're just jumping right
in
there, aren't
But
you?
I also want to, But we had a lovely Thanksgiving. Kathy and I cooked our butts off. My sister-in-law my nephew made a beautiful pumpkin pie, and she, being the artist she is, did some beautiful. Pastry artwork. Oh my God!
Lots
No,
of
it was
leaves.
leaves
Was there a squirrel,
and
maybe?
It was a squirrel. No, it was a pumpkin. It was absolutely beautiful and tasted good. And we cooked for 2 days, and we had a Friendsgiving the night before. So I managed to make a pecan pie for that, and then another one the next day. But one of the things that dawned on me, and sometimes we have to have things hit over the head, but we've all been upset over what's going on. Those of us that are on the listening probably to WCPT and like-minded over what happened on the election day, and our dear beloved pup Maggie was diagnosed with lymphoma last week, and the worries and grief over the election and him and everything just dissipated from my brain because more important family members, family issues came up. And you realize, I can't control that. I've got to work on the things I can, like my family's health, my dog, my partner. She's leaving to help her mom with open heart surgery this week for 2 weeks. These are the things that are really important to us right now. And I don't have time or brain width right now I'm pushing it out because I know it'll come back soon enough after Inauguration Day and when things happen. But so my message, I guess, is simply the holiday season, put it aside because we can't do anything about it right now. We can do lots about it in coming months and years. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your good health if you have it. Appreciate your loved ones, your pets, your family, your friends. And that's what life is really about.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And that's what it needs to be about.
100%.
So I had that realization this week because I finally didn't care about any of the other stuff because I had more important fish to fry.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that I've kind of been looking at, too. Like, when the world seems to be so big, you just got to bring it down. Bring it down to, like, what can you... The only thing that you can control is how you react to things.
That's right.
Like, that is the only thing that any of us can do. As people, we can't control other people. We can't, certain circumstances, we can't control things, but we can control how we react and how we respond. And I think what is going to be a big lesson this year, which we were talking about with the alderman last week too, is look, we might not be able to do big actions on a federal level, but we can work locally, like within your community, to make sure that your community is reflecting your values. And I think that is something that we really, and that goes to, just like taking, even if your community becomes your house, even if like your neighborhood is too big, bring it down to your house or just to you. What can you do to make sure that you are taking care of yourself, that you are, that you are living your values, that your life reflects that. And that is going to be a very big thing for me to remind myself.
Well, we all have to remind
because it's going to be
ourselves.
very, very crazy and kooky pants and big out there. But if we're able to kind of take it down,
Yes.
just to focus in on
I agree.
what's important.
We need to do that.
Yeah.
Tell me about your Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh, it was so great. It was so much fun. Like I was pooped because
We were
just
too.
absolutely pooped because I don't know if
Did you have 13 or something?
I had 13 for dinner. I don't know if you've ever been to a grocery store the week of Thanksgiving.
Oh, of course. I was there 3 or 4 times.
Yes. I know a lot of people were. I was too on the other side. And boy, oh boy, like I was there till 8:00 on Wednesday night. I'm like,
oh God. And then you had to go home and prepare.
yeah, it was just been like, but again, an embarrassment of riches. On Tuesday, I had friends come up from Mississippi and from Memphis. Then on Wednesday, a friend from Philadelphia flew in. So we've had a full house this whole week. We've got 3 folks staying with us.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Which again is wonderful, but also like there's no place for you to go.
No.
There was one morning, like, because we have a 1 guest bedroom and we have 2 couches.
So people are everywhere.
So people
you
are
look.
everywhere. So I could not sleep on Wednesday night. I woke up at 3:00 in the morning. I'm like, there's nowhere for me to go. Like I'm like, oh no, I can't go watch TV. I can't go read a book or whatever because they're just for people everywhere. But again,
Yeah.
it's an embarrassment of
Yes,
riches.
it is a good problem to
Yeah,
have,
it's
as they
wonderful.
say.
So we've had it's actually one of our friends. It's her first time to Chicago.
Oh, nice.
So we're
For the frigid cold.
for the frigid cold, and here's the I might need to pick everybody's brain. What are some great indoor activities to kind of show people Chicago? Just give us a call, 773-763-9278. Would love to know because
the obvious, the
well, I know the Art
Institutes
Institute, but it's
and-
going to be so packed. But I loved. It became cold. Just blammo on Monday. Like my poor elephant ears, I didn't have a chance to get them out, so they're just frozen in there now. Like so, there are things
the
like
botanical area by Lincoln Park. You know that what do they call it?
There's the conservatory
the
in there. There's
conservatory.
also the Garfield Park
Yeah.
Conservatory. Oh, wow, we could do that.
Those
That'd be
are-
fun.
yeah.
But it's just like a friend of mine who's never been to Chicago, and they are Southern, and they are not built for this weather at all.
Do they like bowling?
We could probably go, but I just want to, show them
Yeah.
the city. So we might just go driving around today. But the Thanksgiving Day was wonderful, and it was very much like it felt like this was my family of choice. So I had my lesbian couple, and I had their kids, and then my trans person and their newly announced engagement that was there, and then we had an orphan from a friend of ours from Jerry's, I think from Tupelo, Mississippi. Her child lives up here in Chicago and was an orphan, so come on over. And then we had my nephew and my Schwiegernichte. They came, and who else am I missing? And that's it. I mean, then we had, so it was just like all these people that I love from all sorts of like shapes, colors, walks of life. It was wonderful. My bird, success. But let me tell you, that thing was so big.
Mine was 20.
We did 23 for 13.
I did 20 for 8.
8. I know you have a lot of leftovers.
No, I don't.
Did you send them along?
I sent them along, and I'm like, darn it, I should have kept more.
Yeah, you need to get them. See, that's the thing.
That's okay.
That's the one thing.
I was in a generous mood.
Good. I was in another total other mood by the end of the meal because I was so tired, and by then the gummy had kicked in. And Jerry, we had built a fire pit, and I went out, it's becoming this kind of lovely tradition. Like after dinner, I go outside with my nephew and his wife, and we built a fire pit, and we just had the 3 of us just kind of sit out there, mostly because we're like Midwesterners, and we're like, it's too hot in there, so let's come out in the cold.
This was after dinner.
After dinner, and we just sat and we talked.
That's nice.
It was wonderful, but while we were doing that, and people were inside cleaning, and which was
Oh, God. I wish I would have had people
lovely.
inside cleaning.
Lovely and wonderful, but they also were putting away, giving people their to-go containers. I had no stuffing left. I had none.
See, yeah,
None.
Too much. They gave too much.
No
away.
stuffing
I
left.
do have stuffing left.
Oh, but you didn't have my stuffing.
I don't have your
It was
stuffing.
a good batch
I
of
felt
stuffing
mine
this
was.
year.
I never made it before. It was the
all
first
right.
time. It was good.
I was
Second
very
time.
happy because when But when it comes to the Thanksgiving turkey sandwich,
That's what I love.
I love that. And for me, you got to have stuffing on it. You need bread on bread.
Yeah, bread on
That's
bread.
what I need. And it did not happen. So I was a little tear.
Did you make any cranberry? You made a relish, right? I saw you.
Jerry made a.
Uh-oh.
It's the cranberry gate.
Oh.
That's a very sensitive subject around our house.
Yes.
But Jerry made the cranberry.
I made a cranberry sauce. My brother used to make more of a relish when he would join us.
This is kind of if like a relish meets a chutney meets ambrosia salad.
Is there marshmallows in it?
No, but I think we're like one step away from he loves to. He's like
pineapple.
There's pineapple. There's coconut,
coconut,
pecans. I'm like, what's okay?
Really?
Yeah.
It's
something.
Mine was cranberries, sugar, water, and orange.
Orange, yeah. Nice and simple.
And it was simple and really good. And I saw a New York Times recipe for sourdough grilled cheese with cranberries. So I bought some cheddar.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I bought some sourdough. So I'm going to be making this cranberry grilled cheese this week.
Oh, yeah. I do that all the time. I put and even with this exotic combination of flavors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're still going to make it work.
Yeah, it's still lovely and it cuts through all the richness and stuff. But I will say my orange and ginger pickled carrots were a surprise
really
hit.
Good.
There we are. Kind of cut through that. My Brussels sprout salad was a huge hit. Nice. And the spinach madeleine, I think people got turned off because it was spinach, but that's fine because there's more for me.
Turned off? Who doesn't like spinach?
Yeah, a lot of people. Like my neighbor who is a vegetarian, she cannot do cooked greens for some reason. I'm like, why are you doing that's weird.
Yeah, that's
But
weird.
hey, I'm not here to yuck your yum. It's just more for me.
I do a 20. I did a 20-pound bird. I did a brine for 24 hours, and then I did it on the Weber
on your grill,
charcoal grill, indirect with smoke, putting whole garlic cloves and hickory chips on the coals.
Garlic bowl, a whole thing of bowls, or just cloves?
Cloves, whole cloves. The whole cloves and hickory chips, soaked hickory chips in the little baskets on both sides, and that creates an amazing smoke.
I bet. How long?
And then I glaze it with an orange juice and ginger glaze. And it was about 4 hours. And I used this I bought it a couple years called the Meter. It's one of those, you have an app on your phone. So you basically just keep looking at your phone. And then it says ready and you pull it and then it tells you when it's even rested. So it makes the perfectly cooked turkey.
All right.
And it was pretty darn
That's amazing.
good.
Had I a charcoal grill, I might do that. But I hacked my bird up. So
I know you do that.
But the bird was so big this year that I had to use 2 different pans, so that kind of screwed everything up, the timing and stuff. So I'm like taking things out and moving things around.
Everybody's
but it's
like,
great.
You're doing a 20-pound burn. I'm like, I got it for $20 at Costco. Why not? And plus, $20 at Costco for a 20-pound bird. Yes.
What?
Yes.
When did you get it? Like in September?
No, I bought it last week.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
I bought it last week.
That's
I bought it
amazing.
Monday.
I did not.
Yeah.
I spent much more.
Well, I didn't get it was fresh, but it wasn't organic. But, it was a butterball. But you know what? It was amazing. And it gave people a lot of leftovers. So why not make a big turkey?
I know. And see, here's the thing. And food is our love language.
It is our love language.
Like it's what it's all about. Come to my house. Let me feed you. Let me entertain you. We had fires going inside and outside. We had, there was wine flowing. There was a signature cocktail that somebody had mixed up in batches and brought over.
I made a signature thing.
What was your signature thing?
I made based on our show last week, I made the cranberry syrup that we learned about last week. And I made it with ginger, orange, peppercorns. God, and
it's so yummy, right?
People were using it in their champagne. They put it in their vodka. I put it in my club soda.
Yep. I like to do that, but I turn it into a shrub, and you add in some like apple cider vinegar, like the equal amount of. So there's
a little bit of.
It's tart, and it's actually good for your gut.
I know that apple cider vinegar is good.
But like any sort of it, so like you can use that or like rice vinegar, but then cut it with club soda. It's the best.
Listen to us.
I know. We learned so many wonderful things here on this show. We did.
I learned about how to make that little syrup. So, and did it.
I know. That's what I'm
great.
saying. You know, we've all learned things, and like I learned things from the alderman, and we're learning things all the time.
And we will continue to learn things on today's show.
Yeah, right after this break. But before we do that, this part of Out Chicago is brought to you by Team Hochberg. If you are purchasing a new home or refinancing your existing home, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Meet Jordan, 60, with a score of 620, married to Bonnie, 59, score of 510, and combined annual income of 80 grand. Bonnie's an in-home caregiver who couldn't work during COVID, which destroyed her credit and forced them to live off their credit cards. Now, Jordan reluctantly called David after unsuccessfully trying to refinance multiple times with various lenders. David helped Jordan refinance, pay off 30 grand of credit card debt, reduce their payment $1,500 a month, and created a plan to rebuild Bonnie's credit. Let's review. So after Jordan and Bonnie were rejected by multiple lenders, David helped them to do cash out refinance, save 18 grand a year, and helped Bonnie revitalize her credit. So if you are suffocating if your suffocating credit card debt is keeping you up all night or stressing you out, call David now for a complimentary mortgage review. 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. The number again is 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, there is more Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Hey, this is Mark Patton, and I'm from Screen Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street, and you're listening to Out Chicago.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ella Miller.
Yes, indeed.
Rolling along, and we're through digesting things.
Yes.
I wanted a turkey sandwich before it came in. I didn't.
I only have dark meat left.
Oh, great.
I know.
Send it my way.
But it's something about white meat on the sandwich. I don't know.
Oh, because you're on the
I do like dark meat, but I just, for some reason, I don't know.
We got a whole couple of turkey legs still left.
Oh, I do have
turkey
legs. I got 2 big turkey legs. What are we going to do with those? You got any ideas?
Make stock. Or you can like put them in to make soup, and you can like just put them in to make, and then you can peel it off. Pull the things off. But yeah, make some turkey stock. It's great to have around. And then when you take your turkey stock, then you make a lentil and sausage soup.
Oh, that sounds good. I'm looking at you.
I know.
You're in
and
the
you can
wrong
throw
business,
in.
my friend.
Tell me about it.
You need to
Tell me about it.
Let's do a cooking show.
And then we already do a cooking
called
show.
Out
It's called Out Chicago, you know. But yeah, and then you throw in like some kale in there too.
Ooh, yeah.
A little red wine
I'm
vinegar
tasting
at the
that right
end.
now. I can taste
But
it.
it gets so good because but the key is, do you still have like your pieces parts of the bird?
We threw the carcass out because it's just nowhere to put it.
Oh no!
But remember, it's smoked and has.
Yeah,
know.
even better. Did you smoke it intact? No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, we're totally getting off any sort of topic. You did, so you didn't like. Oh yeah, because I butcher it and I take off the bone.
Yeah, no.
That's where all that good smoky flavor would have a really lovely smoky stock there.
I got two big old turkey legs
Turkey
in
legs.
the fridge.
There you go.
I'll have time on my hands, I think. This
All
week,
right.
so.
Well, there you will. You'll be home and
Home with my baby.
with your babies.
Yeah.
Yes. We said and love to her. Look, this is the gay show before we get to like anything political. Really, I went to go see Wicked finally.
And
It's really good.
good.
It's really, really. It is so beautiful to look at. That costume designer, give them all of the prizes now. It is just visually outstanding. Cynthia Erivo, Shut the Front Door. So good. Ariana Grande, we're all gonna have to stand her now. We are, because she's so good in it. She is so freaking good.
She impressed me on Saturday Night Live. I know her name, but after seeing her and how well she did in the sketches, I was like, I became a fan.
Yeah. Did you ever see her like you're Jimmy Kimmel, not Jimmy Fallon?
Not Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel.
There we are. Because she's on Jimmy Fallon every once in a while, and then he'll always ask her like sing something. She's gonna like sing the song like Britney Spears or
And
singing
she'll
like
do
that,
it.
and or Celine Dion.
She's got chops for acting.
And
that's
she,
for sure.
well, she started. She's a theater kid.
Okay.
Is where she started
Yeah,
and
makes
everything,
sense.
and then she became this pop sensation. And going back, it is really it's wonderful. Like you're really like wow. And there were some moments that I literally like gasped. I was like. So like it's
So was it? Did you get as much satisfaction out of the movie as you did from the play?
well, I mean, it's a different experience sort of thing. Full confession, Wicked is not my favorite show. Like
Okay.
I read the book like back in the 90s when it came out. The book is fantastic. If you haven't read the source material, go check it out. And then he also kind of made this lovely career of like he did a sequel to it called Son of a Witch, and then he did another one about because if you are unfamiliar. Wicked tells is the origin story of the Wicked Witch of the West from the Wizard of Oz. And it's great because when the movie finally starts, like there's they use the exact same font that they used in the Wizard of Oz for it. There are little Easter eggs all over the entire thing of like you can
Little
see
Judy Garland Easter egg.
Well, there's like you see a little bit of the of Judy and the four of them walking down the road. But like there are like little shadow moments, like silhouettes where you can see like, Cynthia Erivo, who after I need her nails, I just need Cynthia Erivo's nails in my life.
What are they like?
They're always amazing. Yeah. But in the movie, but there's a great image of her, it looks like her, there's a lot of throwbacks to the original movie. I did not realize that, a new fun fact, her name is Elphaba. In the movie, and the way the author came up with that was it's L. Frank Baum, Elphaba, who wrote The Wizard of Oz, so that's her name. I know it's like
a lot of riddles to solve while you're watching.
And
it.
also, like, not only is it a story of the friendship between two unlikely people, and the story of women coming together, it's also a story about the rise of fascism. In the merry old land of Oz, and it seems to be quite the allegory right now for our times. Where you have a narcissistic, old, talentless white man who is trying to silence a woman of color who wants to protect the rights of a group that is actively being taken away. There we are.
That.
The Act 2 is much more because it's just the first act. Which I will say, they could have trimmed. They could have trimmed it.
You said it was 2 hours and
2 hours and 40 minutes. Yes. They
At least even a play has an intermission, but you can get up and go to the bathroom.
Was there a bathroom break?
I had to take one.
I'm 2 hours and 40. A lot of people probably had to take one.
Yeah, but it's a long
big
film.
Soda pops in the beginning.
I didn't even bring but it's a long one, and it's just Act 1. I'm like, this is not what happens on the Broadway show. That's not what happens. But there is something amazing about seeing the show live, and the message, and clearly it has resonated with a lot of people. It's still running on Broadway for 22 years.
God, yeah. They took my parents and they loved it.
Yeah, and I highly recommend going to check it out, especially on a cold day like today. It was cold yesterday, so we piled all into the car and we went up and watched the movie.
Excellent.
And what was really wonderful too is two of my friends, it's a mother and daughter, and they Wicked has always been a very, very special place for them. So I got to see the movie with the two of them, and they were just a mess through the entire thing.
Was the theater crowded?
Oh yeah.
Packed, I bet.
Packed. Packed. It was great.
Good. Well, we want to see that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And also, again, let's look at the allegory.
Yeah, I didn't realize
of what's going
that.
here.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Act 2 is a lot more into how creepy and militaristic. And they even say in it, the key to power is to find a common enemy.
Oh, yeah.
And they turn Elphaba into the enemy.
A little story for everybody to...
Yeah. I'm sorry, the woman of color. Someone who might be different.
We know that all too well.
You know, I know we're supposed to talk about World AIDS Day today, but I
is
do
World
want to. I
AIDS
kind of
Day.
want to jump ahead a little bit because
Sure.
like here's the thing.
Yeah.
In these crazy times that we are in right now and that we are about to enter, again, things that we can only control is how we react to things and what can we do to live our values and to make a difference within our local communities. Again, your community can just start with just your group of people, and it can get bigger. But I do want to talk about the importance of allyship and what that looks like, because it is becoming very, 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 very clear that one of the biggest communities that are in the crosshairs is the trans community.
Yes, it sure sadly
as
is.
as you had said, they spent how much money on
They spent
anti-trans
like $80
ads?
million. They ran an anti-trans ad over 30,000 times in swing states.
Yeah, and so they are making it appear like this trans is like an epidemic and it's spreading throughout the world, and like all of these people, there's a huge influx of trans women into women's sports, and they're gonna have a sex change when they go to school and they come back a different gender and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like it is absolutely ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And that's
sad.
not all. I mean, I lost count. I mean, we were already in the spring, we were at 250 some anti-LGBTQ bills that had been presented in front of state legislatures. That was back in April. I believe we're over 500 now. Right now, there's also just last week, Senator Roger Marshall from Kansas introduced the Defining Male and Female Act of 2024, which claims there is an increasing confusion about the definition of sex as a biological truth, and that such confusion and ambiguities can hinder individual efforts to enjoy equal treatment under the law. Basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to create a bill that would define sex based on whether a person produces eggs or sperm. So
Have anything better to do?
they don't like that, and that's the thing. And so that is a huge thing that is happening. And we had Nancy Mace and Marjorie Taylor Greene the previous week. I mean, Nancy Mace literally in 72 hours, she posted almost like over 350 tweets or X's or whatever they're called now about like all anti-trans stuff, all about protecting people in bathrooms, which again, we know that that is not the case. That is not what happens.
Look at the shiny object over here, because
it's like, well, not even the shiny object. Again, it's like you find somebody to demonize, get everybody focused on this, even though we're what, at 0.1% of the population?
0.1
of that. So this is what it comes down to allyship. What can you do? Well, you can control how you react to these situations. You can, if you hear anti-trans stuff, you can just you can step up and say things. You can do things. If you see these bills or policies that are happening within schools or within wherever, step up.
be vocal about how horrible they
Be
are.
vocal.
and
Again,
wrong.
live your values.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing. Live your values. And right now, there's even in theory. Okay, so I deleted my Twitter account, and then I realized and I was trying to go on other things. I'm like, but I have kind of curated a bunch of different people that I get information, or at least not information. Trust me, it's not information. It's just what are people talking about.
Right.
So I reactivated it. I feel really bad about that, but I don't post anything. I just kind of. Yeah. But going through, and there's so much, like that place is a horrible hellscape right now. Like
I hear.
it's gotten worse.
I never did much on Twitter. So
Yeah,
I guess
I don't do anything
nothing
because I
ventured,
just
nothing
kind of
left.
you just scroll to see who everybody's mad at today.
I mean, that's what everybody does. I mean, everybody I know, they just scroll and scroll
and it is
and
not.
scroll.
But I don't scroll and scroll and scroll. But it literally is a place where you go to see who everybody is mad at. That's it. It's just a shrieky, screamy place.
But I also know it's a place for information, like you said. Sometimes you get a news flash there before you hear it anywhere else.
Yeah, no, all my notifications are off. But it's just a kind of, for me, I use it as a way to see what's going on in the zeitgeist. Where are people at spiritually? And there has been a lot of anti-trans rhetoric and propaganda and speech that is on there.
It's hard to hear and look at. And
And you
read.
can't go, well, I mean, you're just like, okay, this is what's happening. And you don't engage because you're not going to change anybody's mind on social media. You're just not. Especially when there's like an anonymity going on and they feel empowered and emboldened by all this other stuff. But it really is, as we are moving forward, there are going to be communities that are going to be targeted. I don't want to be gloom and doom. I really don't. But I'm just trying to we just can't, there's not denying it of what is happening. They're coming after trans people. They're planning on doing this mass deportations. There's, these stupid tariffs that are going to be awful. I mean, that right there is going to really affect me because half the stuff from Trader Joe's comes from Canada. So it's these are going to go up. Am I going to get a raise? What's going to, there's all this stuff. Anyway, but what I really want you to take away, folks and friends out there, especially because I know a lot of straight people listen to this show and it's not necessarily a part of our community. Really, we are going to need you to step up in your allyship. We're going to need you to be vocal supporters. I'm tired of don't worry about money. People can afford money. I'm tired of Democrats asking me for money all the time. It's but what can you do? You can tell somebody. If you hear something come up at a dinner table, then correct that person. If you hear misinformation, if there's something that is happening in your community, step up and say something. That is what it's all about. And we're going to need
or run
folks,
for office,
or
local office.
run for local office. But again, we are going to need folks out there who proudly are allies of the LGBTQ community and of other communities. I'm focusing on LGBTQ because we're an LGBTQ show.
Yeah.
But we're going to need folks to step up. And
now more than ever.
And it's going to be, what are you doing and not just what you say. So again, you have people who are out there who are freaked out by gender, who are their misinformation. It's kind of that whole, there are caravans of immigrants, now it's there are carpools of trans kids going everywhere and they're infiltrating everything and they want to pee where they want to pee.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
It is very frustrating.
Friends out there, allies out there, we need you to stand up and be a part of this. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be talking about, again, presenting stories and news stories. We're going out there that can help change the world, I think. We're going to be speaking with folks from Red Twist Theater about their inaugural Twisted Playfest. So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT.
Hi, this is musician Homer Mars, and welcome back to Out Chicago on WCPT.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ella Miller, rolling along. Again, in these crazy, crazy times, I always like to say, you can seek refuge in art. There is still truth in art and what's going on.
More now than ever.
Yep, I'm bringing up stories that can help, create empathy, and that empathy leads to change, and I love it. And right now, Red Twist Theater's inaugural new work incubator, Twisted Playfest, it features 6 plays at various stages of development. They're going to be presented as stage readings, stand readings, and a centerpiece, main stage production of Eric Jernan's The Totality of All Things. And joining us now is Artistic Director of Development for Red Twist Theater, Dusty Brown, and the Director of The Totality of All Things, Enrico Spada. Dusty and Enrico, welcome to the show.
Hey, hi there. Nice. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you for joining us. I know it's a busy time of year. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving as you are heading into this crazy, crazy week for you. Dusty, if you could, to remind our folks, because we had Red Twist on earlier this year with we have a fabulous season coming up. Can you just remind folks about the mission and history of Red Twist Theater?
Absolutely. Red Twist Theater is located right in Edgewater on Bryn Mawr Avenue in the historic district there. And we have been producing plays right here in Edgewater for the past 20-plus years. and we just reopened the theater after a major renovation as part, and it is part of our Season of Pride that we have done Normal Heart, then Bottlefly, and now we are going straight into Eric Gernand's Totality of All Things. So we're really excited to dive in with that incredible play. And then this December 16th through 22nd, we will have our Twisted Play Fest, which is all Chicago plays, all in development at Red Twist. 10 plays, including the Totality of All Things. And in 6 days, we'll have 20 different performances. So it's going to be quite a fun and exciting week for us.
Wow.
Yeah. Years ago, I am a company member with About Face Theater, and I'm an artistic associate and founding member there. And years ago, back in 2003, we had our first Play Fest of new works. And I remember what an exciting, thrilling time it was to be around all of that energy, because it was like, hey, we had the centerpiece of, we were fortunate enough to have the out of town tryout of I Am My Own Wife, and then we had artistic associates from all over, like throughout our company, come together to actually create things, and it's just been like an incredible. It was an incredible time of just like creativity and spark and support and everything. What is the vibe right now, Dusty, with folks at Red Twist, and how did you curate this lineup for the festival?
Well, we reached out to our community, talked with a lot of people. We had Enrico was part of that process, so we had a full panel to bring in new works and review them. We had over 140 submissions, and we narrowed that down to 10 plays that we thought reflected Edgewater and Chicago and wanted to bring to our stage. And so that's where this all started, and it's an incredibly diverse group of playwrights ranging in age, gender, race. So it's really an eclectic group and an eclectic assortment of plays that we're excited to dive in on. We just had first rehearsal for a number of the plays yesterday, and we'll be in rehearsal for a lot of the staged readings throughout the next 2 weeks before the festival itself.
Enrico, I promise I'm going to get to you. I promise. But can you give us a little hint of the flavor? Because I know you're doing like 20 performances in 6 days. What can folks expect when they go out and support the Twisted Play Fest?
Absolutely. Well, it's a little bit of everything. So we have some very absurdist, weird plays. My co-artistic director is directing an incredible play called Man Cave that is about a post-apocalyptic bunker with a single kind of YouTube obsessed inhabitant. And it just goes on a very weird journey from there. And then we also have incredible plays, one called Murder in Residence, which is about kind of an Agatha Christie-esque murder mystery in a theater, and another one called Following that has an incredible kind of stalker vibe mystery to it. So it's a really wide range of plays, but they're a lot of fun.
I love that. I mean, and then sounds like there's something for everyone too. And there's also what's so great about these festival of plays that are like in various stages of development. It is so wonderful for the artists who are creating this piece to have that immediate feedback of an audience, because the audience is always, like, for me, another character in the play, and you want to see exactly what's hitting, what's resonating, how are they responding, what does that inform. And it's such an incredible fun part to be a part of that process when you go to see new work, especially something like at Red Twist Theater's Twisted Play Fest. But now, Enrico, you are directing like the crown jewel, I shall say, of the Play Fest, the Totality of All Things. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about the play?
Yeah, sure. So the Totality of All Things is a piece about a school specifically focusing on a journalism teacher, a high school journalism teacher, as they grapple with the impacts of a hate crime that occurs at the school in the form of vandalism. It takes place in 2015, right after the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage across the country. So there's a bit of characters trying to find common ground, trying to, like you mentioned right off at the beginning of this whole conversation about art helping people, teaching people empathy and how to find those connections with each other. And I think this play is really focused on that. As these folks grapple with that vandalism, as they grapple with the kind of new world that we're in, and what does it mean to be in a conservative small town, to be, say, a closeted gay teenager when all of this is happening around you. So I think it really presents a nice diversity of viewpoints and asks the audience to kind of think about, meditate on what their viewpoint is when faced with all of these. I mean, the phrase we've been using a lot is shades of gray, because there's no easy answers.
Right.
So it just presents a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, there's something so nuanced. We can't. It feels like it's been lost, and I love that you're playing with shades of gray.
Very thought-provoking. Do you do a talk back afterwards to get some thoughts from the audience members who've just witnessed the show?
So I think we do have a couple of them scheduled, but that's not going to be a regular thing. We've done a lot of leading up to this full production. Before we even started rehearsals, we did a few smaller workshops of this script where we did have people listening to it and giving us feedback to try to make sure that it is in the best shape possible. Since this is the world premiere, these were kind of the last few edits. That definitely a few of them came from those feedback sessions that we had with audience members.
Interesting. I'm sure people have a lot of thoughts and opinions about what they are witnessing on stage. So,
yeah, and your cast is just a knockout.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel very grateful to have the actors that I get to work with, and also the design team as well. If you've been to Red Twist, it's a very intimate space, and it takes a lot of ingenuity to make a play there, kind of transport you to a new world. And I think we're doing just that here. So, and the actors are just the most visible part of that, and they are amazing, doing great work.
So, Enrico, now that this is. I always think it's so great to kind of pull back the curtain, to see how the sausage is made, with when it comes to creating new works. And of course, something like Red Twist Theater's Twisted Playfest is a great example of seeing the process in that. As you are, I know the totality of all things has gone through workshops and readings and things. Was the playwright Eric Jernan, was he a part of this particular rehearsal process and still making changes?
Well, yeah, he's a part of it. We're not making too many changes to the text right now, but Eric is here as a resource for us, as a sounding board, and he's been giving some really useful, helpful notes, kind of coming from the insights that he has from being the person who birthed all these characters. Right. Because I think there's definitely a little bit of him in all of them, and so he's been in rehearsals periodically throughout the process, and expect to see him, at the theater this weekend as well, as we go into previews and opening. But yeah, I think that the script is very, very, I think, far along, right? So folks can really expect to see a really strong product that has a really, really clear message to it.
Yeah, and it also resonates with me just as a former high school teacher, and understanding, what I've been, my latest soapbox that I'm on is live your values and, lead where you can lead and make sure that you are living your values and being true. And this whole plot of the show sounds kind of right up my alley. I'm like, we got to protect our young people and all that stuff. When folks come to see the totality of all things, which is a part of the Red Twist Theater's Twisted Playfest, what do you hope audiences leave with?
I hope that they leave with a mandate to ask questions. I'm not sure that we give any easy answers that I can say, hey, here's what I think the moral is that you should take away, but rather, maybe the moral is that they should seek a moral, right? And like be open to each other and to listening and communicating and trying to do what you can to make those connections, bridging those divides.
Yeah, and that's always the best kind of theater too. When you leave the theater and head out to, for a late dinner or go to have a drink, and then you just to talk about like, okay, what did you get from this? Well, I got this, and I didn't get that at all, and I got like that's always the best kind of theater to inspire conversation, and again, hopefully create empathy. And which leads to change. Look at that. We're saving the world through art, everybody. It's amazing. And you're going to want to make sure that you head out to Red Twist Theater's Twisted Play Fest. And Dusty, so just to double check, the new plays, the stage readings, the music stand readings and all of those, that's December 16th through the 22nd, correct?
That's exactly right. Yeah, so Totality will open on December 7th and runs all the way through January 19th. But the Twisted Play Fest is 6 days, Tuesday, December 16th through Sunday, December 22nd. And you can see all 10 plays the Tuesday through Friday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we'll do all 10 plays again, back to back to back. So it'll be like 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday and 11 a.m. to, I think, 5 p.m. on Sunday. So you'll have 10 performances in 24 hours.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Well, continue that creative spark and creating conversations. For more information about the totality of all things and Red Twist Theater's Twisted Playfest, go to redtwisttheater.org, and it's theater with an R-E because they're fancy that way. Dusty Brown and Enrico Spada, I'm glad you had a, thank you for taking time out today, and break legs.
Break legs next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Always
We've
been a pleasure.
We've got to take a quick break, and when we come back, there is more Out Chicago right after this.
I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
And welcome back to the second hour of Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller. We're rolling along here on this beautiful, but chilly. It's so cold out.
Oh, but we didn't have temperatures all of last December as cold as we're having this December. We're already colder.
Well, no, because there was a week around December that I remember that was just icky.
Maybe it was
cold.
Sure. Yeah,
it was really, really cold.
There were a couple days at the end.
Yeah.
Of the month.
I know.
But
I was working the cheese section.
We haven't felt this kind of cold in a long time.
It's been a hot minute. I know. And all of my plants are frozen in their containers outside. Like I tried to hack down elephant ears and it didn't. I couldn't get through.
I actually, Monday, we picked all the herbs, all the tomatoes, everything that was left, and I used several of the herbs in our Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, there we go. Look at you.
Thank God, because then
you're like a homesteader. You're just nigh on a homesteader.
I'll put up some tomatoes for the winter.
Did you make some chow chow?
Didn't make any chow chow.
Cool. You gotta make some chow chow.
What's chow chow again?
Chow chow. It's like this tomato,
like a relish thing,
relishy thing.
Yeah. I kind of knew.
You gotta be with a southerner to know all about that stuff. Anyway, we've got a fun second hour lined up for you. A little bit later on this hour, we are going to be speaking with artistic director David Serta of Hell in a Handbag Productions.
Always fun to have David with us.
Love having David on there. I am standing him as much as I stand Ariana Grande after Wicked, because he is the most prolific playwright here in Chicago, and it's celebrating the 25th anniversay of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So it's a little bit fun thing. We're going to be chatting with him. And then today, today I always want to commemorate this day, December 1st, because today is World AIDS Day, which is a day of solidarity for people around the world who are affected by HIV, and for voices to unite by sharing experiences, remembering those lost, and standing together in the fight against HIV. And joining us now, one of those people who is out there leading the fight against HIV is Meg McElroy, Director of Special Projects, including Getting to Zero for AIDS Foundation Chicago. Meg, thank you so much for taking time out today to join us.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Scott and Ellen. Thank you so much for having me on the show today.
Oh, our pleasure.
First off, how was your Thanksgiving? Was it a lovely time?
It was lovely. It was lovely. I did kind of come across a little bit of, I have a toddler, so I have that Thanksgiving cold that is now with me.
Yep.
But
Yep. I think I'm
lovely.
feeling it a little bit myself too, Meg, so you're not alone. So can you tell folks a little bit about the whole Getting to Zero project that AIDS Foundation Chicago and folks across the country are a part of?
Yeah, absolutely. So Getting to Zero Illinois, GTZ, as we sometimes call it, it's our ambitious statewide initiative aimed at ending new HIV transmissions and improving quality of life for people who are living with HIV by 2030. So it's all about equity, innovation, community-driven solutions. It's really grounded in ensuring that no one is left behind. So that's a huge part. We just rolled out our 2.0 plan in June of this year. A huge part of it, making sure nobody is left behind in this plan. We're really committed to centering voices of those who are most impacted by the HIV epidemic. And we're fortunate, AIDS Foundation is fortunate to work alongside our health department partners at the city and the state and throughout the state, partner organizations throughout the state, community leaders, to really reduce HIV transmissions and improve the quality of care and our care systems that we have for folks living here in Illinois.
So you were saying with this new initiative that you rolled out, the 2.0 initiative, that you want to make sure that people are not left behind. What communities right now are being impacted with HIV infections?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, we've made significant strides in addressing HIV in Illinois, but it hasn't been equal and across the board. We have key populations that we're either not seeing declines as consistently, or we're not seeing declines. And that's in particularly, young people 16 to 29, Black and Latina gay men or men who have sex with men, transgender women, especially Black transgender women. All of these are really our priority populations. And we know that HIV doesn't discriminate, but our healthcare do. And so we really have to make sure that our healthcare systems and all of these systems that we operate within are making sure to attend especially to these health disparities and really address those on a systemic level.
What can you do more specifically to address, as you said, these specific groups that need the extra push to get them zero?
Yeah, go ahead. It sounds like the healthcare disparity is a huge part. Is it in terms of access to medication or, like to PrEP?
So I think the first and most important thing to note when we think about health care disparities, it's not any one thing that these communities are doing. It's not that somebody happens to be a member of our priority populations, and that is why it is that our systems are not set up for success equally across the board. And so ways that we can address these are systemic changes. It's really holding up the mirror and saying, if we are silent on addressing racial equity within our healthcare disparities, then we're not addressing healthcare disparities, even if we do see great increases in things like PrEP uptake or access to clean needles for those individuals who use drugs or access to condoms. So things that we can do, we have a lot of really, AFC is leading the charge on a lot of really amazing policy initiatives. I know my colleagues Timothy Jackson and Aces Lira are pushing. We have a bill right now that they're working on called the HIV TLC Act, which is about treatment linkage to care and prevention efforts throughout the state. So I've got great ways, I can drop kind of our our text number for people to join our mobile action network if they're interested. Policy levers are one way that we address some of these healthcare disparities on the state level. So if people want to plug into AFC's mobile action network, it's texting AFC to 40649 to stay updated on kind of the policy solutions that we have to address this epidemic.
Amazing.
So on the state level, here we are in Illinois. How do you feel Illinois is doing?
Yeah, I'm proud of our state. I'm a lifelong Illinoisan. We have work to do, but we are one of the, we're committed as a state. We've made significant steps forward, significant progress. As a state, we've seen 30% over the past decade, a 30% decline in new HIV diagnoses.
Wow.
That's great.
That's amazing.
It's not equal. I want to always make sure, we got to always bring it back to that's not equal for for everybody, but it's a huge thing that we should celebrate in this moment. But we're also I think we're the second state to entirely remove our HIV criminalization laws off the books. We're one of few states that have moved forward with initiatives like pharmacist-initiated PrEP and PEP care to increase access to prevention care. So we're doing really, really wonderful things here as our state.
That's because the really wonderful folk of AIDS Foundation Chicago was helping lead the way, and I love that. Okay. I'm not sure if you are able to answer this, but I feel the need to discuss. So what concerns do you have about the upcoming administration on the federal level in terms of just funding or just good old-fashioned science-based information for folks living with HIV and healthcare in general?
Scott and Ellen, just if you could be on there for the next 10 hours.
Right. Sure.
And you can help us answer that, yes.
Absolutely. But, I think the largest concern that AIDS Foundation has is really, we have many, many concerns. And I am fortunate to work on a team with colleagues who solely work on federal policy. I am not one of those people, but I do want to share one of our biggest concerns is about the nomination for the Health and Human Services Secretary, which is Robert F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
So, I think one of our biggest concerns is, of course, the troubling track record, the misinformation, the disinformation that he spreads about HIV and AIDS, the harmful conspiracy theories, all of these views which have been discredited by scientific and medical communities. And RFK is not somebody who holds a medical degree, should not leading HHS oversees critical public health agencies like the CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, National Institutes for Health, HRSA, which are all instrumental institutions that provide HIV prevention, treatment, and research. And so putting somebody in charge of those that A, has no medical background, has no business leading these institutions, and then B, not only has no business leading them, has really harmful and dangerous views about HIV and about AIDS is really concerning for us.
Yeah, like it's that's one of the things that really popped into my head too, because again, as we've talked about many times, they're very good about spreading misinformation and just ignoring science. And again, I'm not sure if you can answer this, but has AIDS Foundation Chicago, are they building up any sort of initiative in terms of how to combat misinformation as we're moving forward?
Absolutely. So we are fortunate that we're not doing this work alone. And I think it's so for us to be worried about, isolation and feeling alone in these really concerning times. We are so grateful that we have national partners who are in Washington, D.C. and throughout the country who we get to partner with. So I think that's the first thing is we are absolutely experts in a space and joining other experts. I think the other big thing for us is that we will continue to show up for our communities, fight every day, share accurate information. So I think that's a part of, our work is going to shift in 2025 to being reactionary. We have to respond to everything that's shared so that people know accurate information. And then I think a part of it, it's as we know things, as we know more information, as we're able to respond to things, I think it's our duty and responsibility to do so. So we'll continue to activate that mobile action network that I shared about. We'll continue as an organization to share out publicly and on our social media when we know that there's misinformation or disinformation being shared. And we'll continue to kind of partner with our national partners to do the same.
Yay, snaps all around. Snaps all around.
It's a call to action for sure. I mean, the disinformation that's going to come out. I mean, usually people in positions of being Secretary of Health and Human Services, it wasn't something that was on people's, they accepted that even a Republican president in the past would put somebody on there that was on the side of science. This is a whole new territory that we're in now. And the onus is on people to really question everything and be prepared to fight back. It's going to be an interesting 4 years.
And Ellen, I think on that point, having somebody like Kennedy in that position spreading pseudoscience. What the biggest thing that it does, it erodes public trust in these institutions. And we know HIV denialism, AIDS denialism, that has a real world impact. It will discourage people. There will be people who do not get tested and do not know their status, or who won't treatment and who won't have access to prevention tools. And we know all of those things, getting tested, knowing your status, seeking treatment, using preventative measures, those are all the things that will help us get to zero at the end of the day.
Yes, amen. And, I know in 2025, AIDS Foundation Chicago is commemorating 40 years of service for the community with a big 40th year gala coming up this spring in April. Can you, I feel like I'm definitely springing this one on you. Can you say a little bit about that as you commemorate this this anniversary of the tireless work and service that AIDS Foundation Chicago has provided to us?
Absolutely. So, we are so thrilled to be celebrating 40 years in 2025. It's hard because AIDS Foundation came out of and came about because people were neglected. People were not being, nobody was giving HIV and AIDS the attention that needed and was due. And so organizations like ours and community partners across the state and the country really had to step in and step up and care for people. I don't have all of the details on our 40th anniversary gala, but I'm excited about it. We can maybe share that with your listeners later. But, AFC, one of the things we as an organization work holistically to end the HIV epidemic. It's not just about getting people preventative medication or treatment medication. It's working to address housing. It's working to make sure that we have culturally competent and responsive providers. It's about that health equity and racial justice. And I think one of the biggest things is it's funding and supporting our partner organizations through things like capacity building and collaboration. So Foundation has been really present in these spaces for the last 40 years. We're going to continue to be present, even when, people will ask me, what happens when we get to 2030 and we've reached functional zero and HIV is no longer an epidemic in the state? And it's like, our work continues. We'll continue to show up and fight for our communities. We'll continue to show up and make sure that people have access to health care, access to housing, and really creating a state not only where people can survive, but where people can thrive.
Yeah, amen to that.
I know that the date is the 5th of April. It's already on my calendar. Kathy and I are already scheduled to go. We have friends that have invited us, so I can't wait to be a part of it. It's the 40th anniversary. It's going to be very special. So people should mark their calendars now and wait for details to come out so that they can be a part of this special evening.
Yeah, and if things like, spreading accurate information and looking at healthcare disparities and fighting for health equity, and this sounds like something that, again, is a value that you want to live. Can you remind our listeners how they can be a part of the Mobile Action Network? Because this is something, again, people feel... I will speak for myself. I feel like a little helpless about things get too big. But if I can find out there is some sort of action item that I can do, that makes me feel a little bit better. So if you could remind folks of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So AIDS Foundation's Mobile Action Network, you're going to text AFC to 40649. That's the easiest way. Texting AFC to 40649 will automatically put you through the prompts to join that Mobile Action Network. Anytime we have something, whether it is on the local level, the state level, or the federal level, we will go ahead and utilize that Mobile Action Network to activate our advocates to take action or to just have accurate information in front of them.
Excellent.
And this is why you have been making a difference for over 40 years, for 40 years coming up here. For more information about all of the incredible work that AIDS Foundation Chicago does, please go to aidschicago.org. And Meg McElroy, I hope you get over that cold real soon.
Good luck with your toddler.
We got a lot of work to do.
Thank you so much, Scott and Ellen. Really appreciate you having me on.
It's our
and
pleasure,
we really
always.
appreciate all of the work that you do,
We do.
along with everybody over at AIDS Foundation Chicago. Meg McElroy, thank you so much.
Thanks,
and
Meg.
I'm glad you had a wonderful, if slightly sniffly, Thanksgiving.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to make the Yule... I'm doing it again. Make the Yuletide gay. Yay! We're going to have our David Serta, who is just a divine human being. He's the artistic director of Helena Handbag Productions, and we're going to be talking about the 25th anniversary of his Christmas play. So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT.
I'm Honey West. Welcome to Out Chicago on WCPT.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott up here, along with Ellen Miller, rolling along.
Yes, we sure
singing
are.
a song. There we are. And you know what? If you were in Chicago, Hell in a Handbag Productions is the gold standard of camp theater in Chicago, and they are getting ready to celebrate their 20th, can't believe the 25th anniversary of their classic holiday chestnut, Rudolph the Red-Hosed Reindeer, written by artistic director David Serda. And joining us now is the one and only David Serda. David, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you. Good to be here.
How are you, my love?
I'm good. Yeah, I am good. How are you?
I'm, hanging in there, not going to let go. That's where I am right now.
And hanging in.
So
right, it's like we have a choice, right?
Move forward.
Exactly.
You can move forward. David Serda, 25 years, the 25th anniversary of Rudolph the Red-Hosed Reindeer. Oh, wowza. Congratulations on that.
Crazy?
It's so bananas. So what was what was the impetus for you to write this?
It was just one of those stories that I resonated with as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just so, as I got older, I was like, wait a minute, this is our story. This is my story.
Uh-huh.
And so it was just something that I kind of had to do. And, I just did it, and it struck a nerve right away with the community, and it was just something, it's like perfect for me because it's campy and kitschy but
nostalgic.
Also heartwarming.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because that original Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer special, the Rankin and Bass special, I am a sucker.
Mm-hmm.
I am a sucker for any Rankin and Bass. It's one of the best gifts somebody ever gave me was they videotaped, back on the time when you could videotape stuff, videotaped every single one of those specials that came on, like the weird ones too, like The First Christmas Snow and Nestor the Long-Eared Donkey. I love it. And going back and watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you're like, this is so gay. That Island of Misfit Toys, that's Fire Island.
Right.
It's
Who
like
knew?
that girl, that doll that can cry or whatever. She's your fruit fly just hanging out. She's the gal that's there. That Charlie in the Box. Don't even get me started.
So, David, so for our listeners who aren't familiar with Rudolph the Red-Hosed Reindeer, what is your production? Give us a little taste of what the production is about.
Well, Rudolph is. He's born into this very rigid community, the North Pole, where everything is Christmas-oriented, and everybody is expected to act a certain way. But Rudolph prefers women's clothes that are normally meant for females, and like frilly scarves and wearing red hose and heels, and it's just very natural for Rudolph. And his parents are terrified and try to protect him, and the status quo, being Santa and company, are all trying to thwart him and
change him.
It causes them to try to change him, and it confuses him and scares him, so he runs away because he feels like he has no place where he should be safest. He isn't, and so he runs away and causes, and then he finds a couple other people who feel the same way. We have Herbie, the not gay NFL, and Herbie was very much my experience when I came to Chicago, and I would go to places like Sidetracks. I felt like I didn't fit in. There are just certain gay bars where everybody kind of looked the same and did the same things, and everybody was fit and wore certain kinds of clothes and everything. And I was like this goth kind of punk. in Chicago, queer, and it's just people would look at me funny, and it's just like
we call those places well-manicured lawns. They're just filled with well-manicured lawns all throughout the place.
And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be,
but I'm a fancy topiary,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like even among misfits, we're misfits.
Yeah.
Yeah, even among marginalized communities. It's funny, sometimes the people who are marginalized are meanest to themselves.
Oh, yeah. We saw that in the election, but that's another story.
Wowza. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, and it comes, that's touched upon briefly, but I decided not to really go into that. It kind of speaks for itself. I'm trying not to say the name.
Right.
But,
same.
Too.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
David, in all of the years that we've had this show, we've had you on because I am one of the biggest fans of Helena Handbag Productions. I am but that's saying something because your fans, they are diehard handbag fans. You have the most loyal audiences of any theater company I think I have ever encountered in my life. I have said this multiple times that you are the most prolific playwright in the city of Chicago. It's phenomenal.
Just keep churning it out.
I
have never asked you, what was the first play that you wrote that got produced here in Chicago?
The very first play I wrote was called Super Pussy Vixens Go Faster Kill.
Okay.
And it was a Russ Meyer parody. And it was like all the Russ Meyer big busted karate chopping women.
Yeah.
All those movies together. And I played the Italian one, Haji. And it was, the women that Tura Satana's in. And there's these women, these three murderous women that go on a desert drive and find this family and terrorize them.
Oh, lovely.
That just stays on track.
Yeah.
That stays on track with David Serta. Was that with Handbag or because I know for a while
it was with Sweetback.
Sweetback, yeah.
Sweetback, where I got my start. And Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Sweetback produced it first.
Right.
And that's how it started, and it just evolved, and we've done it so many times. And this, I didn't, I tried to stay true to the original story. I didn't change it that much. I have to change cultural references, and there were things you could say 25 years ago that
you just can't
say now.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, there were just words and this and that, but I've tried to stay true to the story, and I used to I got to change this and change this, but I kind of don't break it.
Yeah, no, don't. Just keep it.
People look forward to it. It's a tradition.
Yeah, and it's really fun. We've got a lot of new people in it, and the kids. I have to explain certain references to these kids, and it's just interesting.
Isn't that always a wonderful thing to do? He says, rolling his
now
eyes
we're
and
getting
throwing
to the
up.
point where I'm older than their parents.
I know, right?
I know the feeling, David. I know. You don't feel that way.
Oh, God.
So, but Helena Handbag Productions, you've been around for 23 years. I think you've probably done 8,000 plays, all original.
82.
82.
Mm-hmm.
I know, which is just incredible. And as I said, every newspaper in Chicago, every outlet has declared Helena Handbag again the gold standard of camp theater.
Yeah,
and
that's nice.
As we are getting older, and there is a new guard coming in, do you find their understanding of camp? Do they have a full grasp on it, or
Well, no, it's a little different from mine. I have certain rules, but there are no rules for camp.
Right.
But sometimes people people confuse a Saturday Night Live skit for camp.
Right.
There's a difference between Takeoff and we do parody in camp, and there are certain things I don't consider campy that a lot of my friends do, and it's just what they grew up with.
Yeah.
But yeah, camp it's such a wide word, it casts such a big net that people will tell me, "Oh, this is campy," it's blah blah blah. And even though I might not think it, I'm not going to disagree with them because it's camp to them.
Right.
Yeah, and I would. I would disagree.
Yeah.
You're wrong. No, you're wrong.
He's just happy they're
You
enjoying
couldn't be
it.
more wrong.
You couldn't be
Yeah,
more
I know.
wrong. Here, I'll show you camp. You know, yeah, there.
Yeah, a camp to me is something it's not intent. With the exception of John Waters, there's things that are like, it's not really, it didn't start intentionally campy, like Valley of the Dolls or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, or like the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch is not supposed to be ridiculous, but it is. You
Right.
know? And,
Well, I'm very happy that you were there blazing the trail for these young folks.
I'm glad nobody else is really doing it. There are companies that like do it once in a while, but you know,
They're leaving it to you. They know you're the master. They don't even want to mess with it.
Yeah. And, you know, I try to support other companies that are doing, you know, I saw the Try Hard parody, and I thought that was really funny. And, you know, over at Otherworld. And, you know, I people invite me to their things, and if I can go, I will.
Sure.
Well,
I
good,
will.
because you're a good man. There we are. And speaking of doing good, I know Helena Handbag is also, I used to work with Season of Concern. You've been a very big supporter with them, but also you have your own program of Hams for Hams, which just, I love it. So can you tell our listeners a little bit about Hams for Hams?
Well, Hams for Hams started with my friend Lori Cannon, who runs Groceryland, and Groceryland provides food and nutritional counseling for people with HIV and AIDS, people in need. And their biggest needs, you know, the holidays are at the time when they're the busiest. And so we just decided, well, our audiences are very generous, and when they come to a handbag show, they're in such a great mood. We collect money after the show and usually take a picture with Santa, or if we're doing a Golden Girls show or something like that. And we raised over almost $100,000.
Oh my God, that's great.
I know.
Over 9 years, or I forget how long. I have no concept of time.
Everything blurs together.
Yeah, and people, you know, people have matched it, and people really, really come together. And we've been able to provide them with food, not just for the holidays, but beyond.
Yeah.
And, it's, you know, so they can have a decent holiday, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
I don't like to say luxury food items.
Do what? Sorry?
Luxury food
Luxury food items,
yes,
like ham, turkey.
Listen, nobody gives a curtain speech better than David Serta, who will ever so slightly guilt you into giving money too.
Yeah.
It's so
whatever
brilliant.
it takes to get the
No,
job
but it's
done.
great. But but this has been a tradition of Helena Handbags Productions for as you said, 9-10 years. I think it's always important to remind folks that not only are you out there being just sick, twisted individuals, you also have hearts that grew 5 sizes too big that day.
Right.
You know, it's
And we're
always
giving back to the community that supports us.
Yeah, it's
That's
100%.
I mean, so
awesome.
people are happy to give.
Yeah. But you are
I think
also
everybody should do that.
now, as you're coming up on because Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer runs December 13th through January 5th at the Center on Halsted, the Hoover Lippin Theater in Center on Halsted. But there also there's a weekend of benefit performances, December 20th through the 22nd. Is this? Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we decided to extend our benefit over the weekend rather than have one big benefit. So we're going to have the shows get there an hour early, and there's going to be food and drinks and auction items and some entertainment. And we'll have an extended, a 30-minute intermission, and then afterwards we'll have silent auction draw, auction raffle ticket drawings, and just making it a little more casual.
Mm-hmm.
And making it extending it so people don't have to I've got to get to this benefit one day. You have 3 chances to help support the company, because a lot of people are well, I wanted to come, but I couldn't come. And it makes it a little easier for us too, as far as we're already there and we're entertaining, and
right.
So we're trying something new.
So
I love it.
Are the correct dates the 21st, 22nd, 23rd?
It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so that is
because on your
the 20th, 21st, and the 22nd.
Okay, that's what we have down here on your ad. It says forget about that.
Yeah, never mind. But we've got accurate information here because I'm a fact
Scott's got
checker
the accurate information.
Yeah,
I'm just double checking.
Yeah.
There we are.
2021 and 22 for people to come have fun and give back.
Yes, and the entire.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just said yes.
Yes.
And then, they'll meet Santa Claus and Miss Caitlin as Mrs. Claus.
Oh, God.
Caitlin Jackson.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You can imagine what kind of Mrs. Claus is.
No.
You'll have
Oh my
to come
gosh.
see for
For
yourselves.
reals. Like, I just adore all of you goofballs. You are all wrong. You are all twisted. You are my people. I just adore Helena Handbag Productions, and you want to make sure that you don't miss the 25th anniversary production of David Serda's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which runs December 13th through January 5th at the Hoover Lippin Theater at the Center in Halstead.
Yeah, we haven't done it in 7 years.
I know,
so.
go check it out.
Oh, fantastic.
Are there going to be reindeer nipples in this one?
I don't think there are rain. That was for Snow Girls.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very good.
Very-
you remember that? That was
Obviously,
Snow
it made
Girls.
an impression on him,
I'm
David.
telling you, I just
But I will be a glamorous, bitchy reindeer.
fabulous.
We need to see that.
Fabulous.
That's
So just true to
fabulous.
life. You're just going to throw on some antlers and just
kind
head on
of,
up.
yeah. Let's face
It's a
it,
bio.
yeah.
It's a biopic at that point. Okay.
Well, make sure you grab your tickets at handbagproductions.org. Depending on your kiddo, you might want to leave that kiddo home because it's an adult thing, especially
Yeah,
if you got Caitlin Jackson playing all.
teenagers that mature and don't mind queer references, then that's fine.
Yeah.
I do get a lot of people. They're like, "Well, my 16-year-old son is gay, and I'm like, oh, okay."
Okay.
I tell them if they watch South Park, then it's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and
There
I'm
you
sure
go.
they do. So I'm sure
if
it's
you
fine.
know your kid, that's your barometer. If they watch
Or
South Park and you're
they're
okay
in.
with that, come on, and here we go.
No, we've had a couple of people bring their 5-year-olds. They're like,
Oh,
I was like,
no.
you think it says Toes?
Wrong show.
No.
Yeah.
So we've been putting Leave the Kids at Home on posters and ads.
Yeah, I see it here on the poster.
I just wanted to throw that out there, just to cover my butts and everything. But David Serda, have a fantastic run. Congratulations! I can't believe it's 25 years since this play was first done. Amazing.
And I'm only 30.
And you're only 30.
Aw, you started so
a
young
child
as a baby.
genius. It was
Yes.
like Mozart. I told you.
5 years old.
Yeah.
I told you he was
Well, you
prolific.
both have a great holiday too, and I hope to see you at the show.
Oh, we will
I hope
definitely
so,
see
too.
you at the show. David Serda.
Thanks, David.
Thank you. Break legs as you are heading towards opening on the 13th.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
I think the first time I said that
Christmas.
in a while.
Holidays.
I mean, happy holidays.
Say it all.
Happy all of them. There
Happy
we
all of
are.
'em.
David Serda. There she goes. La Serda.
Bye, David.
There we are. We have got to
Bye-bye.
take a quick break, and when we come back, it is the final thrilling show-stopping moments about Chicago right here on WCPT.
I'm Amanda Civitello with Creating Iris. Welcome back to Out Chicago on WCPT.
And welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller, rolling along.
Yes, we are.
It's chilly out.
It's chilly. It's December. It's the holidays officially. The
I know. I'm excited. We're
Christmas, Hanukkah season has begun.
Yeah, I know. Christmas. I think Hanukkah starts on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, they're right
this
around
year.
the same time.
Yeah. Kind of amazing. Today we're going out for dim sum.
Where are you going? Sun Hua? No.
No. We're going down. I think it's D Cuisine.
In Chinatown?
No, it's actually near you. It's just south of.
D-E?
It's near, I think it's just the letter D.
Oh, where is that?
On Clark, just south of Diversey.
Oh, that is right by
Yeah,
you.
near you. So we're gonna go do that
Let us
and
know how it
probably have a
is.
little Lakeview moment. I was really hoping. I've lived here forever and ever, and I've never been to the zoo lights.
Oh, that's fun.
I mean,
zoo lights are fun.
I know.
They're free on Monday night.
And right now, I'm like, and they've gotten progressively larger. Like,
Yeah,
it's
there's a
huge.
Ferris wheel there or
I
something.
know, and I always
That
see
was
it
not-
driving by, like on DeSable Lakeshore, and I'm always like, I've got to go. But again, I think it's a little too cold for my southern friends.
If you really, and RJ Grunt's is right over there. So we used to go with some college friends.
The
and
birthplace of the salad bar.
Exactly. And we'd go over there afterwards.
Oh my gosh!
Because it was open and it was right there. RJ Grunt's right over by the zoo lights.
that.
I know. It's still there though.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's like the first lettuce restaurant.
I love David Serta so very much.
Yes, we do.
He is like, again, the queen of camp and stuff, and he loves like trashy fun things. Have you been? Do you have any love for anything that's like just trashy, mindless?
Oh yeah,
things
that Cindy Lou story.
Oh yeah,
that's definitely
that one gets a little dark though. It's like,
you know what, that does get a little dark.
It gets a little dark, and I think it's like, all right, there we are.
I guess I haven't. What else campy?
Well, I mean, like, but we were talking about something off the air, but I don't know if you want to share that.
Oh,
with them.
yes, I will. Yes.
Yes.
So one of our, actually a friend of ours, he's been on the show before. Quote, I won't say who he was, but he was on the Facebook the other day saying he watched this horrible show, and it's about middle-aged women in their 50s and up, and late 40s and 50s dating young guys, and it turns out the dating pool are all these moms, and then all of their sons are
their sons.
Their sons are the ones that are the guys, but of course they're not dating their sons, but the other women are dating their sons.
Oh, wait,
yes.
You just added a whole other thing. This is MILF Manor, right?
It's called MILF Manor, season 1. And I'm like,
no.
Yes. Oh my God.
That is so creepy, Mrs. Robinson. They know these kids?
Well, they see the women that they've just met at the manor, making out with their son and vice versa, and talking about them in sexual ways. And the mother and son room together, their own sons. The mothers and their sons room together. They have their own beds, of course. But there was one scene where the mother was in one bed, and the mother and another mother with her son was in the next bed. This is the kind of.
We wonder how the election turned out the way it did.
And of course,
oh my God!
It's a car accident. I cannot take my eyes off of.
A lot of people love stuff like this.
I don't usually, but I'm like, oh my God! I said, what is this he's talking about that's so horrible? So I tune into it, and I cannot stop watching.
I know.
I need a lot of distraction and something that's mindless right now. So
that is mindless.
But there was one scene.
I am literally clutching my pearls. No, God.
There was one episode I was watching while in the emergency room with my dog yesterday, because she was back there for a while, and I had my little phone and my earpiece. And this is where they went into a room and they picked questions, and they had different fruits, vegetables, sexual toys, and the mother would ask a question of either her son, it was a sex education thing. And one of the sons got up and showed how he would pleasure somebody using an orange and a mannequin.
Wait, no.
Yes, an orange and a mannequin. Yes, she was so proud of her son. Anyway, this show is so crazy. I can't. Kathy's like at home going, she's doing it. She's doing it.
I know. She's like, but I leave tomorrow.
Yeah, I leave tomorrow. Anyway, I didn't even know such a show existed.
Wow.
So thank you to our friend who
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, how crazy that is. It's just.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So the youngest is 20 and the oldest is 59. And those two have gone out on a date, the 59 and the 20.
Wow.
And as they said, can you imagine if it was shifted? I mean, the outcry, if it was a 59-year-old man and a 20-year-old girl.
Well, there is a DILF Manor, DILF Island or something, but it's gay guys.
Okay, so.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
It's, wow, all right.
So there's something out there for everybody
really
and for nobody.
is.
I mean, it's horrible, but it's on TLC. Tender Loving Care.
The Learning Channel. It used to be the Learning Channel. And then from
There's a lot of learning going on
we
there.
got Honey Boo Boo.
That was a TLC,
That was a
wasn't it?
TLC thing. And
that
then,
network has gone right down the tubes.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So meanwhile, we watched Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Well, you named your dog after that one, so we know
we
you
watch
love
it every year. We had Paul Williams on last year.
Yes, we did. It was
I
a wonderful interview.
Sick at home on having COVID.
Oh yeah.
And everything, but yeah. So we did our annual watching,
That's nice.
and our friend's daughter, who's in town, she had never seen it, and she was like, "This is the best thing ever."
You're watching a totally opposite type thing
Totally
that I'm watching.
watching. There we go. Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow, I'm watching Muppets. You're watching.
I know. I just
something.
I couldn't believe how far they would go, and I'm watching more to see. So
Of course,
anyway.
please keep me updated.
Just
Just send a little text.
I will let you
Just
know.
be like, by the way,
this just happened.
This just happened. Oh God.
But last night we did something wholesome. We had our girlfriends over, Mary and Kathy, who are a longtime couple, and our golf buddies, and our friend Janet, who's learning guitar. And we had a good old-fashioned hootenanny in the living room. And Maggie was laying on her bed with her little lamb chop toy, and we had a fire going, and we ordered the anti-Thanksgiving meal, which is Thai food. We all, after a couple days after Thanksgiving leftovers,
we had ramen yesterday.
We go right to the Asian food, and we sang songs. This is just the homespun kind of fun, not including the MILF manner, but the homespun kind of fun that people need right now to nurture our souls, to nurture our hearts.
Oh yeah,
it felt good to play and sing songs and
to
harmonize,
be like in community.
And be in community. Monday we went and saw the Roaches.
Oh my gosh, I love the Roaches.
And it wasn't the Roaches, but it was 3 fantastic Chicago women vocalists doing the Roaches, and they worked for 5 months to get these harmonies done.
I bet.
Kelly Hogan, who sings with Mavis Staples. Seema Cunningham, who has a band called Phenom. She's amazing, up and coming Chicagoan, really getting on great on the scene. And Nora O'Connor, who sings with Andrew Bird and a million other bands. These 3 women nailed it at the Old Town School. It was just
Did they
fantastic.
do like a whole retrospective?
They did a lot of the older stuff, which I love. That very first album of the Roaches. Unfortunately, my wife I've learned after 29 years, you never know what you're going to learn about somebody, even though you think you know it all.
Right.
She has a problem with more than 2 harmonies, like 3-part harmonies and more. She doesn't like it.
Oh, wow.
But our dog was in the hospital, and she was in the hospital for 2 nights, and I said, let's go do this. A pair of tickets just presented themselves so we could buy. A friend posted on Facebook they had a pair to sell because it was sold out. And she did it in the spirit of, making me happy. And I know she enjoyed it once she got there. But
of course.
I never knew that about her. I never
feel
knew
the
she didn't like it.
same way about a cappella singers.
Okay,
I don't know why.
She probably does too about the acapella.
And here's the weird dichotomy.
Yeah.
The reason I don't like a cappella singers is because their attitudes are too good. Like they always just like, we're have a good attitude. Like it's too nice. You're too nice. But at the same time, I love Manhattan Transfer.
They were great.
Riddle me this.
Yeah.
That's basically the same
that's
thing.
Pretty much the same thing.
I think coming up as we were entering, because it's the Yuletide season, the holiday season, we should put together our playlist. We should do a segment. We need to do a segment about our favorite holiday albums.
Okay.
Have you heard the Roaches holiday album?
I love it. Oh no,
it's so good. And
I'm going to start playing it, honey, when I get home. Oh, no, you're leaving, so I'll play it my heart's delight for the next 2 weeks.
But it's such a wonderful mix of secular and religious music, and it's one of those moments where I'm like, oh, this is really.
And I think Hallelujah is probably on there. I think they include that one. Hallelujah. Yeah, I think they do.
Sure.
And they did that the other night. They did do Hallelujah.
All right.
Oh, the harmonies that these women put together.
Leonard Bernstein? No, not Leonard Bernstein. Leonard Cohen.
No. No, that's a different Hallelujah. The Mendels.
Okay. The Hallelujah chorus.
Yeah.
That's what
yeah.
I think it might be. I don't know.
I bet it is. I think it might be.
All right. I'll have to go back and listen to it.
It was really good. And they're coming back to the Hideout, I think, on the 22nd to do a Sunday matinee, a seated performance. So those that would like to see this, it's called Roses for the Roaches.
Amazing.
And so check it out Sunday, I think 22nd of December at the Hideout at 5 p.m.
All right.
I may go back.
You
Honey,
should.
I may go back.
That'd be great.
I just love it. It just made me, and I just
Yeah, watch it. Honestly, I love Tight Harmonies, even though I don't like a cappella groups. But I love a Tight Harmony because it's like, oh, look at you all working together, being amazing. If you know, not only are we a cooking show, but at least for some parts, we are a game playing show. And I do have to say that one of my friends brought us this new game called "Why Are You Like That?" Or
why are you like that?
Why are you like that?
You want to say that to people, don't you, sometimes?
It's from the same people who brought you the game Exploding Kittens.
Oh, we love Exploding Kittens.
You would love this game then. This is like, it's another fun,
Isn't it as hard
weird,
to figure out as Exploding Kittens? Exploding Kittens,
it's
I remember.
It's definitely easier. I played Exploding Kittens for like, this is confusing,
Yeah,
and I don't know if I'm
confusing.
enjoying this. But it's fun. It's like there are 3 categories. You can like gesture, you can talk, or you can draw. Very rarely can you do all 3 at one time. So, and you'll have to do like, basically you're trying to get your team members to guess these clues by either drawing, gesturing, or talking. But but while you're doing that, you also have to gesture, but your butt cannot leave the floor. So you have to be seated, or you can talk, but you have to spin around after every word, or you can't use any 4-letter words. Like have, solo, like any 4-letter, like it's really fun. It's goofy and silly. It's great for, I think I'd say like about 14 and up. But if you're looking for another game, like to bring everybody together, again, we're looking for those moments where we can celebrate community, bring us all together and have a good time. Highly recommend. They should advertise on the show. Anyway, that is what I'm going to say about
they will someday.
that. There we are. Devin looks on. I will reach out to them. There we are. There it is.
There it is.
So we played that, and we did Catchphrase, which I know you bought.
We didn't get to it, but we will hopefully get to it the holiday season.
You're lost.
But we have it sitting there. It looks fun. The little thing,
And then, of course, I had to bust out "Sorry."
Oh, God.
And we had a little bell, just like in Carol Burnett. We had a ding, sorry. Yes, is the way to do it.
Nice.
Because nothing like having a good time is trying to make your people cry.
And you have people staying over so you could play all night.
We did. We played. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. So anyway, I hope that as we are entering into the holiday season, and again, as today being World AIDS Day, remembering those, if your life has been affected by HIV, with the loss or whatever, just know that we are here for you. We stand with you. Remembering a lot of people who are no longer with us today.
So many
people. But that's the end of our show. And I want to thank Meg McElroy from AIDS Foundation Chicago, from Red Twist Theater, Dusty Brown and Enrico Spada, and of course the one and only David Serta. Devin, thank you so much for running everything smoothly. Henry doing an amazing job back there.
Thank you, Henry.
Yeah, Henry, the best not Paul ever. And Ellen Miller, have a wonderful week. Good luck over the next couple weeks. If you need anything, reach out.
I sure will. Thank you.
And I'm Scott Duff, and until next week,
Stay proud.